1:02. Happy Thursday afternoon. It's a wonderful day here in Edmonton. Welcome to EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, and Zachticum here, joining you on the day after the Oilers' home opener, which was an absolute stinker. We're going to break it all down. We're going to go shift by shift. And, we are not going to go shift by shift, but we are going to talk a lot about the Oilers. Red Light District at 1:40, at 2:20, Alex Daugherty, Preds beat reporter for the Tennessean. They kick off their season tonight against the, I should know this. My bad here. Let me get to that real quick. The Dallas Stars, Stanley Cup contender. Looks like they will be up without Juicy Saros, so we'll get a nice check in there. And they had some good, obviously, transactions in the offseason with Stamkos and Marchessault, so we'll get a good idea of what the Preds are going to be this season. Of course, you can follow us, or listen to us, not follow us. Listen to us on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the TuneIn or iHeartRadio apps, or watch us on YouTube. Let's get those thumbs up going. We had 100, close to 120 yesterday, Gage.
I know. That's amazing.
That's pretty cool. So let's get those numbers up. And, of course, the EST Flyaway to LA coming up in the second hour, brought to you by the 780. Check out the new shirt. Zach, if you can pull up your camera, I want you to show your shirt off, too. Gager got a new one, but he's rocking Metallica right now. Look how nice that is.
That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty sweet. So we'll have the keyword for the EST Flyaway to LA in the second hour. And we're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Gager, I mean, I know you've done two guys already, but initial thoughts on what we saw yesterday, because it wasn't pretty.
No, it was terrible. But something just popped into my head. Sorry, but just with Zach. Zach, do you remember a time when there was only 7 numbers for a phone call, or for someone's phone number?
No, I don't. It was always 780. So I'd always ring up my parents' phone number. That was one of the first things I learned when they gave me like a cell phone in class. They're like, "Okay, kids, this is the area codes here in the city," and I'd always remember that. So 780 has stuck with me my whole life.
This is 780.
That's crazy, because we grew up, we just dialed the number, man.
Seven digits, man.
Yeah.
You were like, that's how you remembered everything. And then I remember going, I'm going to have to dial the area code before I call, so this is ridiculous.
This is so hard.
And then I can't remember anyone's number now. I used to know everyone's number. Crazy. Anyway, last night's game. Yeah, I was on pins and needles, I think, like most people. You know, like watching the pregame with you, Hernan. It was a lot of excitement. And then it started, and I'm like, okay, we're going through everything. The guitar guys were great with the way they're coming out. And I know it's the first game, and even part of me, the old player in me, is like, let's just get to it. I'm sure these guys don't like to do this kind of stuff. They have to walk around all the way to the other side, wait, get out there. It's a long process, whatever. A lot of the coaching staff looked upset, like Dusty said it earlier, it just seemed like no one wanted to be there, it seemed. And this is just obviously the result of the game added to that. But first 10, 12 minutes, I liked their game. I liked what they looked like. It seemed like they were controlling the play in the offensive zone, good passes through the neutral zone, and then, man, it seemed like a goal that went in that wasn't a great goal and a lot of mistakes that led to it, and it deflated the Oilers, it deflated the crowd, and they just there was no pushback at all. The rest of the game just seemed like, you know what? Let's wait till Saturday.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the start was pretty decent for the Oilers. There wasn't a lot of pace to the game, Gager. I like when you watch the other games, there's a lot of speed. I felt this game was kind of going through the motions. Some good opportunities. Hellebuck was on his game, obviously. Skinner makes an early save off the Bouchard gaff there, breakaway to Scheifele. So you're like, hey, Skinner's feeling it. Yeah. Then kind of the wheels fell off. Let's start with the goaltending, because sure, the backdoor goal, and we're going to break a couple goals down here shortly, but outside of that backdoor goal, I still think two or three of those he could have had. There was breakdowns in front of him. I'm not putting it all on Skinner, but you can't have 4 goals on 10 shots and finish with 5 goals on 13 shots. That's and regardless of how bad the team was in front of him, you need your goalie to make a save eventually. So what did you think of Stuart Skinner's performance yesterday?
Oh, it wasn't good. I mean, he said as much in his post-game interviews. He's got to make saves there. We talked about weeks ago what I expect from Stuart Skinner now is kind of like the Connor Hellebuck, right? Like he has to have that influence in a game where before the game they're saying, okay, we just got to get some shots, whatever.
Yeah.
You have to do something special. Like Connor Hellebuck before a game, and I've said this, if you were to go into an NHL room before the game, there's little circles that the coach puts around certain guys, the key guys that they have to key on or think about. I guarantee that Hellebuck's name is circled on the visiting team's roster because you have to do something a little bit more to score on this guy. You can't expect to score on just normal shots. There's second chance opportunities. You're going to have to get things going left and right, or east and west, getting him to move. It just, if you allow him to see the puck and not have to worry about traffic, where his rebound control is going to go, it's going to be a long night, and most likely you're not going to get any goals on the guy because he is that good. And unfortunately, I was hoping that Stuart Skinner would have had that type of goaltending. I didn't like the second goal. I thought that was a stoppable puck.
Yeah.
He was in good position, but it just seemed like he was just trying to get in the way, hoping it hit him. There wasn't that intensity that we saw a few months ago in Stuart Skinner's game. Obviously, different time in the playoffs. He can get back to that, but it wasn't good enough.
And I agree with you in the sense where we're getting to that time where you have to be like a Hellebuck. You have to be counted on, especially with this decor, to make the big saves. Like, it can't be all the easy ones. And I get the backdoor tap-ins are hard, but we've seen goalies make huge saves. We saw Hellebuck make them. We've seen Vasilevsky make them. And I'm not comparing Skinner to those guys, but if he wants to get there, and the Oilers are going to need him to be there if they want to win the Stanley Cup, he's going to have to make those saves. So, listen, I'm not going to panic over Stuart Skinner. I think he'll bounce back.
No, we're just breaking down one game.
Exactly.
Right? And I mean, it's weird because it's the first game, but when you look at just the defensive core for the Winnipeg Jets, obviously Morrissey is a phenomenal defenseman. But when you go down, Sandberg, Pionk, good pairing, Fleury, Miller. But having a goalie like Hellebuck, knowing that, you know what, if I make a mistake, I got that piece of plywood back there that he's going to give me a chance to recover or get back in the play or something like that. And you saw that with the Oilers. There was no confidence, with their game and with other parts of the defensive areas. So, and it just bled through the whole lineup.
Yeah, let's move to the decor here. I thought all three pairings had some struggles on the night. Ekholm Bouchard, I'm not worried about. You saw the gaff by Bouchard at the blue line. It happens. I thought Ekholm looked a little slow out there. He'll take him a few games to get going. The Nurse Emberson, we'll get to that pairing, but Gage, we all knew there could be some issues with this decor, and it's one game, and I understand that, and we have 8 preseason games to go off as well. No one really took that second pairing right shot spot. No one took the third. I think guys fell in there by default. I know people are going to be like, bring Troy Stecher, and to me that doesn't move the needle at all. Now, it took 40 minutes, Gager, to switch up those pairings that went Nurse, Dermott, and I don't know why he's making such these decisions so quickly. Let Emerson and Nurse play through it. Let Dermott and Kulak play through it. Why are you switching it up? What's 20 minutes going to do in a 5-0 game that's going to make you think, I'm going to stick with this pairing now?
I know. And when you look at it, you would think, okay, this is the kind of pairing that we've had on the whiteboard for the past 4 months of what we think our defensive core is going to look like in the coach's room and GM's room, right? That's probably what you would see. Letting something cultivate. We talked about it. I think I gave it 6 to 9 games before you really make drastic changes.
Yeah.
No better time than a game that you're not in to try to get them to a level where they're comfortable, they're reading off each other a little bit more, and getting used to one another, essentially. But then to flip it around, and then you have different combinations. I mean,
because Emerson looked a little
he was scared.
He looked a little nervous.
Scared, man.
Yeah.
And I understand it. This guy's got he's 24. He's got 36 games under his belt
now 31.
31. So, and being penciled in next to another big top 4 defenseman in Darnell Nurse, you're counted on. You're essentially supposed to take CC's place and be a guy that can play upwards of 20 minutes a night. Yeah, he's gripping the stick too hard. I'm sure if you keep this group together, they will become more comfortable. But again, they have to play better too.
Yeah, like that second pairing, I know the analytics community was so high on Emerson. I think it's a little unfair. Can he become a really good defenseman? Yes, but to say, oh, he's an upgrade on CC and Hernan, I think that was a little premature because this guy played on the third pairing in San Jose. How many shifts did he play against the elites of the other teams, Gage? Or like, you have to take all that into account. That's why, like, for me, analytics are useful. They're a tool. But I agree with Cass. They're good at showing you what has happened. Yeah. It's not a good indicator of what's going to happen because Emerson, all the analytics are like, he's an upgrade. Listen, it's been 4 games in the preseason and 1 regular season game, and he hasn't stood out. I'm sorry. And yesterday, like you said, he looked a little shaky. We're going to break down the goals in the second segment because it's 1:14 already. But there's 2, because I want to get to him, and I want to get your opinion because you played the game. You're a pro. This is Ty Emerson, and everybody now is like, oh, the defense is not good. Everybody was so happy when they signed Travis Dermott, Gager. And I'm sitting here like, these guys are all third pairing defensemen. None of these guys should be playing in the top 4. And with Darnell Nurse, like I said it 2 weeks ago, I'm done with excuses. He needs to just step it up. I don't care who he's playing with, Gager. He needs to step it up and become the leader and start playing like he's never going to be a $9.25 million defenseman, but at least play as close as you can to that number because they need him.
Oh, they do.
If he struggles, this team is in trouble.
The 2 people that need to, just after last night, need to raise their game to an elite level, I'll say it, is Darnell Nurse and Stuart Skinner.
Yes,
they need to be elite. Like when you look at the defensive pairings and how it is, Ekholm on one, Nurse on the other, that should just be, oh my gosh, we have those
tough
guys
to
should
play
against. Like one of those guys should almost be on the ice all the time because they're just shutting down the other team's good players, right? It's a no-brainer at this point, and it doesn't. He's got to find it, man. He has to find it because it's the rest, like you said, are probably more 5-6 guys. You still don't know with Emerson.
Yes,
there's a lot left there, but I mean, Kulak is a really good defenseman. Like he's really good, but he is a 5-6 defenseman. You know, that's
what he is.
That's what he is.
Like all these guys have a limit.
There's nothing like I love Kulak. He's one of my I say it every day. He's one of my favorite Oilers. But 14 and 25 need to be, and I'm sure Ekholm was going to get to that, but Nurse has to be similar to Ekholm.
Yeah, 100%. He needs to carry Emerson if that's his part.
Yeah.
He needs to do it, not the other way around, and I think we got it twisted. So I don't know if they go to Stetcher. I don't think it makes a difference if Stetcher, Dermott, or Emerson. I'm intrigued to see if he sticks with Nurse and Emerson. Maybe it was just a shift to see, hey, let's try something different. The other thing that really pissed me off, Gager, it took 40 minutes into the season to go back to McDavid and Draisaitl. Why? You brought in these 2 wingers. For the first time, Draisaitl's got some elite wingers. Let him play through it. It's 5-0. What are you accomplishing? And then Knobloch says postgame, that was the plan even before the game to go with them in the third period. Why?
I don't know. We've said it for years and it's every coach that comes in here, and I think Knobloch has been one of the best of keeping them apart. Like he goes to them after the penalty kill, obviously, right? And I like that just to get them back going again. But it seems like a crutch that everyone just falls back on. And again, if there's any game to try to cultivate chemistry, it's in a 5-0 game in the first game of the year with over 30 minutes to play left to see if. And I'm not a coach. I don't know that feeling. And I'm sure probably if I was behind the bench, I would be, yep, Connor, Leon, try to get me back into this. Let's do this. But on the outside looking in, I just feel like, God, why wouldn't you want to see these guys and see if they can do something? Because the second line, the line that we're probably most anticipating through to the start of the season was the Draisaitl, Arvidsson, Skinner line. So let's see what they got. Let's see what you got there. Try to get something there because you're going to need that. You're going to need that at crucial parts of the season where they're going to be not only sound defensively but contributing offensively.
And not just that, like you have 20 minutes to go. You're not coming back in this game. Like let's just call it how it was.
No.
And give them another 20 minutes together. And I get trying, like DK Spark says, why not try another couple guys together too? It wasn't working. Sometimes things just click. But it's the first game. You can't throw everything into. He didn't throw everything, but throw certain players into the blender because it's 5. I'd understand if it was 5-4 going into the third.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We need a tie
sure.
goal. Sure. It was 5-0. Come on. It was 5-0 before the 30-minute mark.
That's what I'm saying. It was like 13 minutes left in the second. It was 5-0, wasn't it? I was like, geez.
And you know what else is interesting? The 4 even strength goals were from the third and fourth lines of the Jets.
I know.
That can't happen.
No.
That cannot happen.
They are a good third line, though.
Oh, that third line was awesome yesterday. Like Lowry, Nino, and who's the other one on the... Appleton.
They
were fantastic.
Nice goal by Appleton.
Yeah.
But stoppable puck.
780-218-9999. Texas, your thoughts on the Oilers? Was it too soon to go to McDavid and Draisaitl? Are you even more concerned about the D pairings? What about our boy Stewie Skins? I know there's a lot of naysayers on him and concerned about him. Gage and I both said he needs to be better, but we're not panicking over him just yet. Hit us up on the nasty chat. Next up, we're gonna bring up 2 goals. They're still shots, but I want Gage to break him down. So if you're listening online, we'll do our best to kind of tell you what we're kind of showing. And if you're on the YouTube channel, let us know what you think. That's all coming up next as we continue to break down the Oilers' 6-0 loss to the Winnipeg Jets. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, and here's Zachticum with a sports update.
Surprise, surprise. Raphael Lavoie hits waivers for the 3rd time in 5 days after the Oilers reclaimed him yesterday from Vegas. Kaapo Kähkönen of the Jets also hits the wires with Eric Comrie replacing him as the backup too. Connor Hellebuck. Blue Jackets captain Boone Jenner underwent shoulder surgery to repair an injury he suffered last week in practice and is expected to be out 5 to 6 months. GM Don Waddell says that March 1st is a possible return date for Boone Jenner to make his season debut. There's 9 games on the slate, including the Devils battling the Maple Leafs, Canadiens visiting the Bruins, Stars meeting the Predators, and the Penguins with the Red Wings. Thursday night football action has the Seahawks facing the 49ers down in Seattle. Come watch the game with Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for kickoff just after 6. MLB playoffs see the Tigers having the chance to knock off the Guardians before the Royals try and stay alive against the Yankees. EST Afternoons continues right after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
It's 1:24 EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, and Zachticum here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Keep the text coming in at 780-218-9999 or on the nasty chat. Also, the EST flyaway to LA is coming up in the second hour. But right now, we're going to break down some of goals that the Oilers allowed yesterday, specifically the second and third goals. I want Gager's thoughts. I want your thoughts as well. And if you're listening, just try to imagine what we're saying and try remembering what you saw last night. But right now, we're going to... Nope. Hold on. I screwed up there. All right. Can you put up the second goal? Here we are. No, that's the third one. Sorry, man. Second goal here. We got on the right wing, just inside the blue line. Nurse is on the puck carrier, right? And then Emerson's just off to his right with a player flanking him. And then Lowry is just getting into the zone with McDavid trailing him. Gager, I think there's three players at fault here, but who's the main culprit?
Well, see, to me, I might look at it a little bit different because I watched if you watch the play itself, once the puck comes into the Oilers zone, Nurse goes to check. I believe it's name's escaping me. Anyway, yeah, he's going to check, and I just felt that his effort to eliminate the guy on the wall, right? It was kind of, I would say, pedestrian. Okay. So stop up, opens up, looking at things. So right here, you see Emerson kind of maybe a little bit too low. Obviously looking at, is McDavid going to take Lowry? Okay, if I recognize that, you got to trust your players. You got to trust your teammates in these types of situations. And he should be looking backside. And this was what happened a lot. I think there was a way too much puck focus with the Edmonton Oilers as a group and not recognizing where, and I mean, we'll see on both goals that these are generated from the wall. Like this guy's not going to score from there. No. And where's the most dangerous guys? It's Lowry and Appleton in this case. And Reed put it out there. When that puck crosses that middle line, it increases your chances of scoring by 13% or what have you, and that's what happens here. Yeah, and McDavid's late. He puts Emerson in a tough spot because Emerson's like, do I go to Lowry? Do I go to Appleton, right? But again, that's where the trust comes in, because if you back up this clip just a bit, McDavid's in line with Lowry and lets him go. And then he's caught chasing, right? And the puck goes to Lowry, finds it backdoor to Appleton, and he beats Stewie's skin. So a lot of blame to go around on this goal. Sean McKinnon says Emerson watching the puck, not his man. And you brought that up. Like he's got to be aware that Appleton's behind him, right? He's almost got to treat this like a 2-on-1 a little bit, right? You got to trust. But this is where, if you were to see like maybe a more veteran defenseman, he's pointing to your forwards. You got this. You're almost directing traffic yourself, right? So all in all, just not physical enough on the wall, and a lack of communication results in a goal with, I would say, a goal that's a stoppable puck too.
Yeah. Let's get to the third goal here. Zachticum, give me if you can, please.
So this one.
Yeah. So you have the player on the wall on the left half board, right? You have Corey Perry there. Emberson's kind of in no man's land. He's just kind of hanging out there because just before that puck got rimmed around to that player, he's pointing at Perry to take him. But Nurse and Emberson are splitting one player. But Colson's got the back door there, right? Kupari. But Nurse has also got to have his head on a swivel here. I feel like there's so many mistakes on this play.
Yeah, again, it's originally they got hemmed in their own zone for a little bit with this. Nurse had a great opportunity to stop the play behind the net with that, but he had straight legs. He was exhausted and couldn't go. So puck goes around. There's a little bit of miscommunication with obviously Emberson and Corey Perry, but if you look at all the Edmonton Oilers heads in this picture, and if you've PVR'd the goal, you can watch it. None of them take it's like novice. Like the thing's a magnet. They're just going, oh my gosh,
the puck.
Look at how beautiful that little black thing is. Like they're so focused. And one of the things when I'm watching games, just recognizing is shoulder checking and being aware of where guys are on the ice. Again, here's a guy on the boards. If he scores from there, that's Stuart Skinner. You can't score goals from there. So where is the danger coming from?
Yeah.
Obviously in front, Emberson should be looking to where this guy is. Nurse should have his head on a swivel looking back door, and Podkolzin obviously isn't checking it all and lets him completely go. And I got to hand it to Stuart Skinner because I don't think he sees the pass and almost gets this.
Yeah. And this is why I wanted to bring this up, because in the two goals, Emberson's kind of in no man's land. Like he doesn't really know where to go. He's pointing to Perry to go to that guy when Perry's got his guy at the point.
Yeah.
It's 3v3 right there. Nurse takes the guy in front of the net, and Colson obviously is pretty late.
This is where, Perry can force maybe back down the wall a little bit.
Yeah.
And Emberson has to have good positioning and make him go where he wants to, right?
Yeah.
Like keep him on the outside. Don't let him cut to the middle. But right there, again, I think this was partly because they were hemmed in for a long time, and Emberson and Nurse just couldn't move.
Yeah. So we can go away from this shot, Zachticum. We can go back to. So this is what we're going to try to do every game. It's just interesting to see it from this aspect and get your expertise on it, because I feel like we're always blaming one guy, but as you've seen in these two goals, there's about three guys at fault.
Yeah, and like who's the Podkolzin becomes the low forward. You see Leon kind of getting sucked to the puck anyway here. There just needs to be way more communication, especially in the defensive zone.
Reed Wilkins says, and why is 29 the center up by the blue line?
I think there was a change, actually.
It could have been,
There was a change, and then he came in. He was late guy coming in, so that's why he was so high.
And then KD's saying this goal is on Arvidsson. I think he's talking about the first goal, but it's still 3-3. Arvidsson's change doesn't affect anything because, like I said, back up that clip at center, McDavid stride with Lowry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, if you watch it, he can. And then what that does is, and maybe that I have to watch it again. But again, I didn't like Darnell Nurse's intensity on the wall with that guy. I thought he could have eliminated him a lot quicker.
Just kind of hold him up so he can't move the puck.
Well, yeah, just make it way more difficult to pass that cross ice, right? I know you got your guy. Oh, I got my guy. But yeah, make sure he can't do anything.
Yeah. I really like that segment, and we need a highlighter for you, Gager. Like when you're live on the CFL, like you're an analyst and you're just drawing the lines, and you can
a new segment: highlights, lowlights.
We got to figure that out. Yeah, highlights.
I was trying to cursor it out with the mouse there, but we'll figure out a bit of a highlight packet. That's what I was thinking too, because that'd be good. Like, totally clear of what you guys are saying. So
highlight, lowlights with Joaquin Gage. Yeah,
there we go.
A new segment has been born, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, we don't see too many like that. We want to show you good plays by the I hate talking about bad plays. So I was part of too many bad plays in my day.
I'd rather talk about the good stuff.
And the reason I picked those 2 goals again is just not to pick on one player, because both goals had multiple culprits, and I think a lot of the goals had multiple culprits.
Yes,
it wasn't just one guy. So that was pretty cool. Thank you for everyone to chiming in. Calvin C says, I don't think Nurse is in position to be coaching anyone. Sean says, this is where Nurse should be coaching, helping Emerson in these situations, though. I agree. 100%. He goes, much like Ekholm did for Kubusch last year. And again, Gage, we're not on the ice. We don't know what the communication's like, but...
Oh, if you're there, you can hear it. I mean, It's not like it's loud in that building a lot of times.
Yeah.
But again, like sitting there, listen to, and you'll see when good teams come in with veteran defensemen, you can hear them talk on the ice, like, and they're directing nonstop. And even to a point that, like, I remember, it's funny because when I play, sometimes I don't play as much anymore, but when I go play men's league, it's ingrained in me to communicate with everyone, and I'll talk to like older defensemen just in the dressing room, afterwards, and they're like, Joaquin, it's amazing when you're talking the whole time. I've never. These guys haven't played pro or whatever. But I'll say, like, you got time, or move it up, or whatever, right? And they're like, I go, yeah, that's like if you put a microphone on a goaltender during the game, we're like a quarterback back there, kind of, right? We're trying to
similar to soccer. Goalie directs because he sees everything. And it's called the sweeper, which is the last guy on defense. He's kind of organizing the whole team.
That's why we're such good analysts. We've watched from a unique angle.
Zulu says, Nurse still hurt. I'm done with excuses. I don't care if he is, if he's not, if he's 95%, not 100, he needs to step it up.
If he's hurt, don't play then.
Exactly. You're just hurting your team.
Yeah, don't. It's game 1. Get back to full health. If he's at 80%, that's on the team, because then he can't be. He's not a type of defenseman that can play like at 80%.
Yeah, he's not helping anyone there. There were some good games last night, Gager. Where do you want to? Calgary, Vancouver. Wow.
Awesome. I mean, I had my eye on that one a little bit, and it was cool seeing local product Jake DeBrusk get on the action, showing his mom Cindy jumping in the stands. Canucks. I mean, I'm a Miller fan. Like, he's just...
You'd love to have him on your team.
Oh, my gosh. He's just mean, nasty. Part of...
Clean hit on Rooney.
Very clean hit.
Yeah.
But just a I think Gazdic said it last night. Just a gamer.
Yeah.
Just a complete gamer. Doesn't matter what time of the season it is. He just gets into 5th gear or 6th gear, and that's the way he plays.
At 4-1, I thought it was over. I'll be honest.
Of course you thought it was over. But, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Did we? I don't think we said is Calgary. Calgary's not as bad as you think they are.
No.
That's the thing. And they have some veteran guys that looked good. I mean, Mantha looked okay. The Connor Zary, he's a really good player, man. Huberdeau getting in on the action. Rasmus Anderson, I believe it was
the tying goal. No, the go-ahead goal.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're good, man. Mackenzie Weegar is an... Legit. I mean, he scores a power play goal. Like, this guy was a beast last year. You can't sleep on Calgary, because I think they'll be... It'll be tough. It will be very tough for those wild cards. I think they'll be sniffing around, I think.
Yeah, it's the first game. We I think, and it's fine. We all read too much into it. Montreal shuts out Toronto. Sam Montembeault, 47 saves.
Awesome.
That's great. And I know everybody outside of Toronto is happy Montreal on that game. My Stanley Cup pick, the New York Rangers shut out the Penguins 6-0. I think Pittsburgh's going to be terrible again.
Do you think that Crosby, like... What happens at the trade deadline?
Ooh, well, he just signed too.
I know.
Yeah.
But a very, I would say, tradable contract.
Yeah.
I think.
He's making 8.7.
Yeah. So, but again, I don't know if he'll leave. I think he.
But Dubas is like, okay, we got to start building for years down the road. Who's going to give me the best return? It's Crosby.
Yeah. Malkin.
Letang.
Yeah.
So, and then the Vegas Golden Knights double up the Avs 8-4 in another wild game. In Vegas, like I said, Vegas, Vancouver are going to be right there with the Edmonton Oilers. I think what we saw yesterday for Edmonton, obviously there's a lot of steps forward they can take, Gager. And, we were listening to the players post game and some fans get upset that, it looks like they don't care. And I'm like, it's game one for them. Like Leon was just like, yeah, we'll be better. Like, what else is he supposed to say?
No, I didn't take anything more than a guy that has been there before and it's not phasing him. That's what you want. These types of games, you have to put them in the rear view mirror as quick as possible. You take the lessons.
It's a kick in the pants.
Yeah. And go, gosh, we got to be a lot better. It's a realization. Again, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for the Oilers to realize that they're going to get everyone's best game. Like there's not going to be very many nights off for this team. Everyone's going to be ready to play the Edmonton Oilers, which at the end of the day helps the Edmonton Oilers more than anything else. I think last year, one of the reasons the Canucks were able to win the division was they were taken lightly for those first 10 games, and they rolled.
I think they have to sweep the weekend. 1-1's not good enough in my eyes for a team that's supposed to be a Stanley Cup contender. The thing that worries me is everybody and their dog in the hockey world picked the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. And we all know what happens when these guys read their own press clippings. It generally does not go well. Hopefully that's not the case. And hopefully it's not what we saw last year, a really slow start. I'm going to be honest. I think maybe they might start slow in a couple games because of their long run, and it takes a while, the short summer, and then you're coming off such a high and getting into, the start of the regular season. I understand that, but 6-0 Gager is unacceptable for a team that's supposed to be in the final. Look at Florida. They showed up and said, yeah, we're still the top team here.
Yeah,
we're not
the
messing
big
around.
Dogs. Yeah, that looked like it reminded me of a business meeting, that game. Right, it was all business as usual.
Yeah,
with those guys, it was, and I think it was Colby Armstrong last night saying in between the periods how it takes teams like Edmonton a little bit longer because there's so much skill involved to get the timing down. So instead of a team like the Winnipeg Jets that are, how did he put it, more meat and potatoes, just getting the puck to the net, trying to crash, bang. Get whatever you can. I think that would benefit the Oilers to go back to a meat and potato. Just simplify. It doesn't have to be a backhand sauce. I mean, I've said it before. Your pregame meal does not have to be dangle fish dipped in backhand sauce. Sometimes meat and potatoes is a better way to go.
Yeah. Waddy in Cloverdale says, great segment idea. The Oilers hemorrhage high danger chances off simple breakdowns. It's lazy to put it on Skinner and single players. That's why we're doing that. Beer Leaguer Brad says, so you're saying Nurse has been playing hurt at less than 80% for the past 2.5 to 3? Well, no, I'm just saying, I'm done with the excuses. That's
someone
it.
said, is Nurse hurt? And we were like,
no.
Well, there's no indication that he's still hurt. But if he is, and it's affecting his play, then he shouldn't be playing, especially at this time of year. You saw Ekholm not be able to start the year until he was 100%, right?
Yeah.
And it took him a little bit to get up to speed, but it was only a few games.
Nurse looks fine.
Yeah, no, he's fine.
Like, it seems like nothing's hampering him. Liquid Beaver says, hey, guys, nice touch with the pictures and breaking down some of those goals. If you plan to do that for the whole season, you guys are going to be busy breaking down the Oilers breakdowns that will be at the... But that's fun, though.
We'll have a limit on it.
That's fun, though, because, and I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I blame one player, and because, he's just struggling all year. But it's good to break it down like that, because then we see all the different little mistakes that lead to the big one that ends up in the back of the net. Bones says business socks, Gager. I have no idea what I don't know.
Business socks. I was looking. Can you see my socks? I was like, no, you can't see my socks.
No, I don't know what he's talking about. On the nasty chat, Gavis Khan goes, Anthony Manta's a beast too. He's had some off years, but he's a big boy, a good player. If he gets going, look out. Earl James says, I could hear McDavid screaming in the locker room from Winnipeg. And Yeeps31 says, imagine if the players were panicking already. Yeah, I think the players are calm, and they're not happy.
I think we're pretty much calm. This is a one game, and obviously there's not a lot of good in it. I was trying to find anything that was good. I guess I liked the Arvidsson, the almost goal that he scored and going to the net. That was I was like, oh, but I didn't even like when I like McDavid blowing through the neutral zone, getting a chance, getting a step on the D. But I want to see, selfishly, I want to see Connor McDavid score 60 goals, shoot the puck.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a great shot.
Do you agree with me? Connor Brown was the best player last night.
I liked the third line.
He was effective. He was around it.
Yeah, he had a really good. I thought he was gonna. He missed the net, I think, on one. That was a shoot. That would have been great to see him score. Just to after last season not having success, just get one off get that monkey off your back a little bit earlier.
What was the new segment we just came up with? I can't even remember now.
Highlights, lowlights.
Highlights, low. Is that what it was?
Or low lights highlights? Or low light highlights?
I like
highlight
that
lowlights?
you're just trying to name it yourself there. You're going against me?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
All right, coming up next, we're going to get to the Red Light District, everybody's favorite segment here on EST Afternoons. It's Joaquin Gage, it's Hernan Salas, and we're obviously joined by our great producer, Zachticum, as we continue to break down the Edmonton Oilers. In hour two, we're going to have the EST flyaway to LA, and Alex Daugherty from Nashville is going to preview the Predators as they're in action tonight as they host the very good Dallas Stars. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. But first up, here's a sports update with Zachticum.
The Oilers have placed Raphael Lavoie on waivers for the purpose of reassignment to the Condors. This is the third time in 5 days Lavoie finds himself on the wire. Once it was Vegas, and now twice from Edmonton. Kaapo Kähkönen of the Jets also gets placed to waivers, with Eric Comrie taking his spot as a backup to Connor Hellebuck. Blue Jackets captain Boone Jenner underwent surgery yesterday and will miss 5 to 6 months. Jenner injured his shoulder last week in practice and isn't expected to make his season debut until March 1st. There's 9 games on tap, with the Maple Leafs seeing the Devils, Canadiens and Bruins, Stars battling the Preds, and the Penguins against the Red Wings. In Thursday night football action, it's Seahawks and 49ers with Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for 6:15 kickoff. MLB playoffs see the Tigers having the chance to knock off the Guardians before the Royals try and stay alive against the Yankees. EST Afternoons continues just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper. It deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Leonard Skinner with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night.
Joaquin.
You don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right.
Joaquin.
You don't have to pull on the red light.
Joaquin.
You don't have to pull on the red light.
Joaquin. 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 God, I love that song. It is fantastic. Yeah. The vocals by Lieutenant Eric are just phenomenal. The thumbs up are a little bit low right now. They're at 38. Let's get to at least 60 by the end of this segment, Gage.
Yeah, let's do that. If you got some time, just hit that thumbs up. The Red Light District every Thursday. It's a little bit of a dive into. I guess it's a little bit of a personal issue that I have again. We're not going to too much hockey stuff here, but as some of you probably know, I talk about her quite a bit. Is my daughter. She's turning 16 soon, and we've had my daughter and I have a really good relationship. Like, she tells me everything and feel pretty comfortable. And I mean, she's busy. She dances 8 days a week, basically. But she looks good. Okay, I'll say that. Like, my daughter's a little bit attractive, I would say, for her age. And with that comes the now getting to the age where she's looking to the opposite sex for they're more interesting, let's say, than they were a few years ago. And so I went to the mall last weekend, and I had an event, and my daughter goes, "Hey, Dad, can you take me to the mall?" And I go, "Sure." I have my buddy had his opening of his hockey facility, and so I go, "Yeah, let's go check this out together." And she goes, "Oh, great." I'm thinking that she's just going to go to the mall with her dad, maybe look at some stuff, and then so we get there, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, and if any other dads are out there, and sometimes just the way my daughter looks, sometimes I'm a little bit, because we're still chummy, she'll hold my hand even sometimes, whatever. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh gosh, does people think I'm dating this? Like, I worry about that. Like, am I look like this creepy old dude? And so I'm like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't hold it. This I don't like the way people are looking at us. And so anyway, I get into the place and look around. We looked around together, and then she goes, "Okay, Dad, I'm just gonna go see my friends." And friends. And I go, "Okay, yeah. So let's plan. Text me when you're kind of done, and then we'll meet up later." Little did I know, it wasn't friends. Like, I thought it was a bunch of her friends from school, I guess, but it was a boy she was meeting at the mall. So, and she didn't. The thing is, she didn't tell me. So she told her mom, and I found out later. So it was I mean, it's just fine. I'm not mad about it or anything like that. But no, it was an eye opener, and maybe just looking for some fatherly advice of guys with teenage daughters on how to approach the possibilities of their little angels dating someone
and meeting them.
Yeah, because I just have that scene from Bad Boys 2 in my head. And I'll invite Hernan over, and we can do it. But it was I'm entering into different waters now, Hernan, and it's fun, it's cool. I'm not going crazy about it, but it was just a little bit hard on old Gager to hear that she had to keep it from me that she was going on a date.
So you never saw said friend?
No. I'd tell you if he was a mess or not.
Hey, you bring on Bad Boys. That's probably one of the best scenes ever.
It's I won't watch Will Smith movies, but if that's on, I will wait till that scene and watch. It is a masterful scene with him and Martin Lawrence.
Oh boy, I don't have kids, but I have two nieces, and my younger one, she's 21 now, but when she started, same thing in those days, like and I'm just the uncle. Like, I was like, I don't want, like, don't introduce me to anyone right now. It's just too soon, right? Because I'm going to be like, you know,
Yeah.
break her heart, I'll break your face. You know, you're kind of that passionate. And I'm Latino heat, man. Like, I was very, like, you know, like, have your boyfriends, whatever, but, like, I don't want to, don't bring them home yet. It's way too young. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to meet them, like, unless it's later in life and you're serious, you're going to get married.
Man,
That's the way I was.
Yeah, I might go put on full gear to answer the door, right? And just be in full hockey gear. Hey, what's up? Come on in.
You're just wearing your goalie hat?
Yeah. No, like full gear, skates, pads, everything. Just psychopath.
Yeah. The boss is in here. So. Calvin C says, time to put the pads back on, Gager. LOL. Lars says, man, am I ever glad we had a son and not a girl.
No, you know what? It's just as bad. I mean, even with my son, I thought that boys, it would be worse. But even with my son, you're always worried about, what are they like? Are they nice? You know, it doesn't really matter.
Smitty the Welder says, and you think your daughter tells you everything, Gager? A couple smiling emojis. I have an almost 18-year-old daughter, and I know she doesn't tell me everything. This one says, Surveyor Brad, having met a bunch of these nasties, I feel like 85% of any advice in here can't be trusted.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's a changing time for me now. Well, I mean, my son's 19, so he's kind of, you just want them to find someone that makes them happy and that are nice to them, I guess.
Of course.
You know, that's the main thing. But just, and maybe I was more prepared for my son a little bit, but now, you know, both kids getting to an age where, you know, I'm closer to an empty nest than I am, you know, the changing diapers and stuff at this point. And so it's a little bit of a shock to me. This is the thing. My daughter, she tells me everything. Yeah. That's the thing. Like and this was the first time that she kept it from me.
Yeah. And the wife told you.
Yeah, the wife told me.
Liquid Beaver says, Gager, my daughters are 30 and 28. When they were dating, every boy that came to the house were introduced to my gun collection. Problem solved. Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, that's I might just have my some of my fights on repeat on the TV when they come over. Maybe just that.
This one from Shanzi says, don't be afraid to embarrass the hell out of your kid in front of their peers. That is your rite of passage as a father.
They don't like, I try to. I did the whole Spider-Verse one where I was yelling at my son as he was going to, he didn't talk to me for a few days after that, but I was saying, I love you. And he wouldn't say it back.
Yeah. Gager, I'm a father of a girl, not a teenager yet, 11 years old. Have you listened to the new song by Post Malone called Yours? If you haven't, give it a listen. It makes a grown man tear up.
Dude, if I watch 2 seconds of America's Got Talent, I'll start tearing up. So there's not a chance I'm listening to that song.
Oh man, that's beautiful though. Like I love the relation, because girls are always closer. Oh well, they're more attached to their dad.
Yeah.
Like it's just me and my sister. I'm more of a mama's boy. Yep. And my sister's more attached to my dad. Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing.
And
right?
it's the same thing. My wife and my boy are closer than my boy and I are.
Yeah. That's always the case.
It's just I don't know what it's funny because the problem is I think, this is my theory, is you see too much of yourself in your kid, especially my boy, and it drives me crazy. But then it's funny because my wife will, the same type of thing, but she just has way more patience for him. Yeah. And I have way more patience for my daughter.
Yeah. It sounds about right. Yeah. Do you have siblings?
No, only child. Broke the mold.
Oh.
Didn't need to.
So you're a mama's boy for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Zachticum, do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have one older brother.
All right.
He's much older than me.
Are you a mama's boy or are you more attached to your pops?
Oh, definitely a mama's boy. 100%.
Your 100%.
Brother? Yeah, a little bit of both for my brother. Like he was almost like the only child, and then it was like I was a pleasant gift for my parents. You know.
What did you say? 2 years older?
He's 10 years older.
10 years older.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's got 2 kids of his own already.
Wow.
I'm an uncle.
Holy smokes.
Uncle Big Z. Yeah.
Wow.
That's great. I was born on I have the same birthday as my wonderful mother.
Do you?
Yeah, I was born the same.
What
It's
a
the
present.
Best present she ever had.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's what my dad says about me. I'm born 3 days after his birthday.
So catch this. Me and my mom are August 24th. My dad's August 27th.
Oh, way.
So my sister has it rough in August.
Yeah, I bet. That's a lot of gifts.
It is. All right, that's going to wrap up the Red Light District. A nice emotional one by Gager telling a story about him and his wonderful daughter. What's her name again?
Liliana.
Liliana. So, yeah, next week, another rendition of the Red Light District. I'm getting some texts from some buddies, and they absolutely love the Red Light District.
Oh, okay, sweet. All right.
They absolutely love it.
We'll try to bring it every Thursday.
It's a hit. Coming up in hour 2, Alex Daugherty, Preds beat reporter for the Tennessean, as we'll talk everything Nashville Predators. We'll also give out the keyword for another qualifier for the EST flyaway to LA. And next up, we'll talk some NFL. I know you're a big tennis guy. Rafa is calling it a career. I want to get your thoughts on that. That's all coming up next in hour 2 of EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
It's crunch time for your taste buds, because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips, combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in all its teen burger glory, or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger, for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Raphael Lavoie hits waivers for the third time in 5 days after the Oilers reclaimed him back from Vegas. Kaapo Kähkönen of the Jets also hits the wire, with Eric Comrie replacing him as the backup to Connor Hellebuck. Blue Jackets captain Boone Jenner underwent shoulder surgery to repair a injury he suffered last week in practice. He's expected to miss 5 to 6 months, and his expected return date is March 1st. There's 9 games on the slate, including the Devils battling the Maple Leafs, Canadiens visiting the Bruins, Stars meeting the Predators, and the Penguins with the Red Wings. Thursday night football action has the Seahawks facing the 49ers in Seattle, and Lieutenant Eric will be down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for that one. Kickoff at 6:15. MLB playoffs has the Tigers with a chance to knock off the Guardians before the Royals try and stay alive against the Yankees. EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and the smoker Joaquin Gage continues. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios. It's a wonderful Thursday afternoon, sunny skies. Just got to take advantage of this weather. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat. It's humming along nicely right now, or Texas 780-218-9999. We're just ahead of Alex Daugherty as we'll talk all things Nashville Predators. And, of course, the EST flyaway to LA is coming up shortly. We'll give out the keyword and qualify another lucky person here on EST Afternoons. Just going to get away from the hockey talk just for a quick bit here. Rafa Nadal confirms he will retire at the end of the 2024 season. I know you're a big tennis guy, Gager.
I used to be. I'd watch it all the time.
Yeah.
Especially that was kind of the era when Federer was taking over, but then Rafa and then came in and Djokovic came in. And there's those.
You a fan of Rafa?
Huge fan of Rafa. Like, I liked tennis for me was, I mean, maybe my love of F1 has replaced it a little bit, but that was the sport that I wished I played. You know, if I could have been a professional in any other sport, it definitely would have been tennis, just all over the world. That feeling of, you know, maybe it was because I was a goaltender too. You're kind of on an island by yourself a little bit. Like the mental toughness that you need in tennis is crazy. And I some of the best sporting biographies or autobiographies have always been tennis, like the Jimmy Connors book, the John McEnroe book, the Andre Agassi one is phenomenal. But yeah, and Rafa just being so dominant on clay for so long, and just those big sweeping serves, huge heavy topspin that no one could handle. He just seemed to. It was like playing against a wall. Like he just returned everything. Yeah. And then he finally, like some of those 5-setters against Federer at Wimbledon, like just epic battles where watching those, you just get butterflies watching because it means in tie breaks and stuff, huge serves, unbelievable plays. He's obviously one of the greatest. I would, in my favorite tennis players of all time, I mean, Federer's number one for me. He's easily number two.
Ahead of Novak?
Oh, yeah. Way ahead of Novak.
Wow.
Although he's won more and stuff, I feel at a time where, and don't get me wrong, Novak's great too, but at a time when there was just one guy at the top of the mountain, and that was Roger Federer, to see him, to push him and really be the reasons why they were so good. Awesome.
Some of the matches, Federer, Nadal, even Nadal, Djokovic were
just
monumental. You know what drove
heavyweight fights, man.
Yeah. You know what drove me crazy about Rafa Nadal? Between points, he always had the same routine of adjusting and doing the hair and the wristbands.
Yeah.
And it drove. I was like, just serve, man.
I know. It was just meticulous. And you know, you go to those charity events and people mimic him and do exactly the same thing. and stuff.
Man, he drove me crazy.
But I mean,
so you're saying top 5 or top 3?
Top five, I would say. And probably what really, like you saw the love and admiration. You know, these guys have played like grueling tennis against one another. But when Roger Federer announced his retirement, right? He was at that, I think it was Davis Cup or it was Europe against North America or something. And you saw the emotion that Roger was like saying he's done, and Rafa's the one crying. You know, just that's how much he meant to him, just being a competitor and a friend.
And that's what's beautiful about tennis. These guys compete so hard against each other, but they're brothers, man. Like they all get along for the most part.
They're on the circuit together, like that.
Yeah,
it's that circuit life of being a professional tennis player has always been intriguing. Like they go here, then they're there, and stuff from the. What was that? I just watched The Contenders. It was that. It was a unique show or whatever. But what was that other one? I'm trying to think of that one tennis show that was. It kind of had a little bit of what it's like to be a professional tennis player. And there's one good documentary, the Borg McEnroe documentary. I think Shia LaBeouf's John McEnroe.
Oh,
it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat to watch.
Have you ever seen the Williams sisters movie?
Not yet.
No,
I won't watch Will Smith anymore. No, since the slap, he's done.
Since he slapped Chris Rock,
yeah,
you're done with him.
I'm done, except for the Bad Boys 2. I'll watch that. Yeah. I'll watch that scene, and that's it.
Yeeps31 says Nadal played so physical and then played so long. That's what's so impressive. Yeah, he was a beast, man.
Well, he'd wear guys down. Oh, you want to hit ground strokes? Sure, let's do it.
go.
Let's do it. Let's have a 40-point rally. And you just see guys like needing oxygen, and he's doing his wristbands ready to go.
Yeah.
And he was like, there was a little bit more physical intimidation. If you remember, Rafa wore the
three
capris.
quarters. Yeah, the 3/4
But
shorts.
then he started wearing the Tommy Gazzolas to show off to show off the quads a little bit. But he was always he had no someone stole his sleeves all the time too because he wanted to show off the guns.
I loved it because he had his own style when he came in.
Yeah.
Right? Like the 3/4, the sleeveless.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was great. And a great tan.
Oh, perfect tan. So tanned.
Where would you rank Rafa Nadal? He's going to go down as one of the greats. If you're a big tennis guy, I'm intrigued to see where people would rank him because there's a lot of greats. I mean, Roger Federer for me is number one.
Just a gazelle, man. Watching him cover the court.
I think Djokovic is probably two. That guy's a machine, man.
He's a machine too. I mean, you saw. I think it was the Australian Open. We need Dave Jamieson in here. He would know when Djokovic finally beat Federer in the Australian Open final, and that was kind of his big moment, right? But I just wanted Federer to win.
I grew up Pete Sampras guy.
Saw Pete play once
because I didn't like Agassi, so Sampras was his rival. So I was always on the Sampras side.
See, if you go read that Agassi book that he wrote, you'll become an instant Agassi fan.
Yeah, I know for sure
because he hated tennis.
he hated it, and he was so damn good.
Oh
at it.
yeah. He tells I don't want to give too much of it away if you were going to buy this book, but there's one. His dad bought this machine. He called it the Dragon, or it was a tennis ball machine, but he made it way up high, so it shot down at a certain angle, and so there'd be tons of these balls on the court, and once in a while the machine would shoot random, hit one of these balls, and Andre couldn't return it, and his dad would get mad at him because I don't care.
Yeah.
And but if you watch Agassi play, no one took the ball earlier than him. That's why he was so successful.
This one's X-Ray J says, how can you leave out Ivan Lendl? And I remember him. X-Ray Calvin C says, yup, I grew up with Lendl and Agassi.
I wore brown goalie equipment for a period of time when I was a kid, and I had a Ivan Lendl poster in my bedroom, and he was a goalie, I guess.
Oh, really?
And he had brown stuff, and it was a commercial for brown goalie gear.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Let's shift over Thursday night. NFL, my San Francisco 49ers in Seattle to take on the Seahawks here. The winner of this game will be in first.
How are we going to do? Oilers tonight, San Francisco, a huge game.
If they lose, man, I'm having a rough week. Yeah. All my teams are losing, man.
I know.
World Cup qualifying, Chile plays Brazil, which I can almost 99.9% guarantee they're going to lose.
Yeah, that's...
there's going to be a lot of sports at the Salas household today, but I know Zachticum's a big Seahawks guy, so we'll be fighting tonight. I think the Niners are the better team. I think the Seahawks have gotten away with some, I'm not going to say easy games, but some teams that are not at their best or are not a contending team. 49ers have lost 2 games they should have won. They completely blew it. So it's always a good game between these two teams. But I think if I was going to bet, I had to roll with the 49ers. Zach, obviously you're going to go Seahawks.
Well, I don't know. With the Seahawks losing last week to the Giants like that, it's like it's hard to...
That's a good point.
It's hard to say that the Seahawks are going to win and that I'm going to just roll with the team. Usually when I make my bets or whatever, well, I might not put money on this game because I'm not good at betting. Anytime I place a bet that I think is going to work, it's always the opposite end, so I almost have to go against my instinct. But with that being said, I feel like the 49ers are just a better team overall. Sure, there's some pieces. They've had some injuries and stuff, but like the Seahawks have kind of been playing above expected in a lot of their games, and they were 3-0 before meeting
the Giants.
Well, it was they lost to the Lions, and then are they 2-3 or 3-2?
No, Seahawks are 3-2.
Yeah,
the Niners are
2-3.
Right. Yeah, that's the record. So
the San Francisco kind of just has to get to the playoffs somehow, right?
Yeah, I'm not so worried about them they're running the table and being in first. Like, get to the playoffs
and have everyone come back.
Yeah,
and get injury free, and then they could be a sleeper. But they have to win today. Like that's
they have to.
And look, Arizona's a okay team. Los Angeles is just decimated by injuries. I don't think they're going to have a tough rest of the year.
Cardinals are kind of weird.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're going to bring.
San Francisco, even with the injuries that they've had, I think they should still be first in that NFC West.
Lord says Frisco tonight, Hernan. Book it. Book it. Busy. Are you going to be watching football, or are you going to be dipping into the NHL schedule here? 9 games on tap.
I have an event tonight, actually.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I'm at the Hotel McDonald for it's an event for Down syndrome. It's a big event. It's a fashion show, actually. So
are you?
No. I'm just there as a guest.
Yeah, 9 games. LA is in Buffalo to take on the Sabres. The Senators host the Florida Panthers. Utah, their first road game, they'll take on the New York Islanders. Nashville Predators host the Dallas Stars. It's the Sharks and Blues from San Jose. Montreal travels to Boston. Toronto's in New Jersey to take on their former coach, Sheldon Keefe.
That's a lot of eyes on that one. That'll be fun to watch.
Red Wings host the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Minnesota Wild host the Columbus Blue Jackets. So a lot of games. If you're in fantasy, or if you're going to dip into sprinkle some on CoolBet, a lot of interesting games coming up. I am intrigued by the Nashville Predators. Our next guest is going to join us to preview them. Juicy Sorrows says day-to-day. I don't think they've confirmed that he's out, but if I'm a betting man, I'm assuming he'd be out, but probably better to play it safe early on this season because he is the backbone of that team. But they've added Jonathan Marchessault, Steve Stamkos, Brady Shea. They've added some good players. And last year they were pretty close to beating Vancouver in the first round. I think with these additions, this team's going to push, and I think they're going to be a lot better than what people think.
This is a really fascinating game to watch. These are 2 really heavy hitters in that Central Division. They could be neck and neck all year long. I'll definitely watch the highlights of this.
You prefer? I'll ask you this: do you like Juicy Sorrows more than Ottinger?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I would have to say that I like Saros more. And that's just because I've probably watched more Predators games with UC Saros, where he's been a massive difference maker. I think I've seen Nashville play against in person at Oilers games too a lot. And he moves so well. Not that, what's his name again?
Ottinger.
Ottinger doesn't move well, but he's a bigger guy, kind of more that cookie cutter goaltender. But Ottinger to me, I think we said this off air. He was great in that one series, right? The only reason Dallas was in that series against Calgary was because of Ottinger. He was amazing. But again, he let in a crap goal in Game 7. You can't allow that to happen. And really, he got Stuart Skinner outplayed him last year in the playoffs. And this was if you asked most people, when you check the boxes of goaltenders in that series, people were giving the edge to the Dallas Stars, and I didn't think so. I think he's a good goaltender, but there was a flash in the pan kind of with the playoffs because really he hasn't gotten to that level, I think, since. But still a really good goal. I'm just not as high on him as a lot of people.
I think he's a little overrated.
That's kind of.
Oh, Zach just shook his head at me. He's not impressed with what I just said.
No, I mean, that's like saying Stuart Skinner is overrated. I mean, he's still so young. He's still got time to develop, and some of the skill he has is bar none. I think he's going to be a really good goaltender.
Jake Ottinger's only 25. Huh.
Oh, yeah. He's young, man.
So he's Stewie Skin's age.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, maybe not overrated, but yeah, they haven't. Like, what's his playoff record here?
See, I look at him kind of along the same lines as Stuart Skinner, who's a really good goaltender, but is he belong in the same breath as a Shesterkin and Vasilevsky and
I don't think
Bobrovsky and even Saros? I don't think so.
So is he then like is Ottinger Skinner more close together than
I would put Ottinger, Skinner, and Swayman in the same category.
See, that's good. I agree with that.
Right?
Because Swayman hasn't improved it either.
No.
He's never played more than 44 games.
Yeah. That's kind of where I think I would have them, right? Yeah, that Bennington kind of. Yeah, that's looking at these guys. That's kind of where in that second tier where they're knocking on the door to be, those huge difference makers. But I just think they're not quite there yet, and it probably just could be because of their age.
Yeah, because even in that series with the Oilers, like Ottinger wasn't very good. Like Skinner outplayed him.
Yeah. By leaps and bounds, I thought. Bobrovsky's 36, right? So it's a little bit older. All these guys are in their 30s except for...
Because you'd put Juicy Saros in the other... You'd put him up with the upper echelon.
Yeah, he's in that elite group, I think. That would be good. A good thing to do. Just rank elite goaltenders. I think Shesterkin's there. Bobrovsky's there. Hellebuck. Who else? Vasilevsky would be there.
Is Allmark there yet?
It's just been it's funny because maybe you could put, if he was still with Boston, you put those two together and merge them because it's really just one. They were both playing all the time, right? So, but let's see what happens now that they're separated.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the jury's still out on that side. Aiden Hill's a really good goaltender too. I like him, but he's in that
mid tier,
mid tier with Bennington and those types of goals.
I agree with that.
Markstrom.
Yeah, 219 here in the city of champs. Coming up next, we'll get to Alex Daugherty from Nashville as he's going to preview the Preds as they host the Dallas Stars tonight. But it's time now for the keyword. Text 780-218-9999. It's the keyword for the EST Flyaway to LA, proudly presented by the 780. And as you can see, I'm wearing one of their cool shirts that we got, which is awesome. The whole staff got one. And it's great. So we got to get a qualifier. And the keyword today is, this is Gager's favorite player, Kulak. Text Kulak to 780-218-9999. And our producer, Zachticum, will pick a qualifier and we'll get you on the air. That's all coming up next here on EST Afternoons, along with Alex Daugherty, Preds beat reporter for the Tennessean. That's all coming up next. But first, here's a sports update with Zachticum.
Raphael Lavoie hits waivers for the third time in 5 days after the Oilers reclaimed him from Vegas yesterday. Kaapo Kähkönen of the Jets also hits the wire, with Eric Comrie replacing him as the backup to Connor Hellebuck. Blue Jackets captain Boone Jenner underwent surgery to repair an injury he suffered last week to his shoulder and is expected to miss 5 to 6 months. There's 5 games on the slate, including the Devils battling the Maple Leafs, Canadiens visiting the Bruins, Stars meeting the Predators, and the Penguins with the Red Wings. Through 2 practices this week on the NFL injury report, Giants Malik Neighbors, Colts Jonathan Taylor, and Bills James Cook have not practiced. Thursday night football action has the Seahawks facing the 49ers down in Seattle, and you can come watch the game with Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Barn Lounge on Fort Road for kickoff just after 6. MLB playoffs has the Tigers with a chance to knock off the Guardians before the Royals try and stay alive against the Yankees. Right after the break, EST Afternoons continues. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-299-99 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for two, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of low rate pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered, from rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Sounded sarcastic, but I'm...
24 here in the EST studios, west end of the city, the William Huff studios. TST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zachticum is about to call a qualifier. We'll get him on here quickly, and then we'll be joined by Alex Daugherty, Preds beat reporter for the Tennessean, as they're playing their first game tonight, and they will be hosting the for many the Stanley Cup contender Dallas Stars. Gage, it's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see what that Dallas Stars team can do, because they have a lot of talent, a lot of young guys, Stankoven, Wyatt Johnson. But on the flip side, I really like what Nashville did in the offseason. Do you think Stamkos takes a step back? Because he doesn't have Kubusch, Arov, Point, Hedman, or do you think he's just going to be a machine like he always is?
Well, let's see. 1 second here. It looks like Stamkos is with Novak and Marchessault, right?
Yeah.
2 right shots. Stamkos on his offside there. No, I mean, you're probably going to have O'Reilly, Forsberg, Stamkos, Marchessault, and Yossi on the power play. I'm guessing. I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. That's a hard-working line with that second line. It gives... last year in the playoffs, the Nashville Predators were a one-line team.
Yeah.
And a team that played the Vancouver Canucks very well. The Canucks were just a little too deep, even though they had some absentees from their top players. So,
and they blew 2 late leads.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, like really late. So, yeah, no, this is when I look at it, I mean, Yossi, Fabro, Saros is a big difference maker, but then you look at this Dallas Stars team, man. It's Stankoven, Hintz, Robertson, Duchesne, Sagan, Marchment. Duchesne can still scoot. Sagan's lost a step. Marchment's not a huge speedster, but big physical scores. Then you have Johnson, Dadonov, Ben, like young and old there. Heiskanen's a joke. With Dumba, who can scoot, Lindell, Lundqvist. It'll be good.
It's good. Good. We got a qualifier, Zach?
Yes, we do. Melissa is on the line.
Melissa, congratulations. You're our next qualifier for texting in the word Kulak. If you win this trip to LA, who would you take with you?
Oh, hold on. Sorry, we're having some issues. Ask that again.
Melissa, are you there? Hello, Melissa.
Hello.
Melissa, congratulations. You're next qualifier for the EST Flyaway to LA, which we'll be giving out on the morning show on November 29th. It's a flight for two to LA with hotel and rental car. The trip is from December 26th to December 30th. You will watch the Clippers, Warriors, Rams, Cardinals, and the Edmonton Hockey Club in LA or Anaheim. If you win this trip, who would you take with you?
Hello?
Yeah, no.
It's all right.
Issues with the phone line once again. So congratulations to Melissa. Zachticum will get your info there. And it's hopefully Melissa gets the call on November 29th. The EST Flyaway to LA is proudly presented by the 780. 780 is a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. Congratulations once again to Melissa. We had some issues there with the phone. But, we're going to get Alex Daugherty right now on the phone as well. Zach will give me the thumbs up when he's good to go as we continue to talk Nashville Predators, NHL. Gager, you been to L.A.? Like on a vacation, not
No, never on a vacation. Always business with me, Hernan. You know that.
Did you ever play there?
No, just watched. No, did I?
At the
Played
Forum?
in Anaheim, I guess.
At the Forum?
No. I remember it was
pond.
cool. The old Forum walking in, because a lot of times they would have the celebrity games before.
Yeah.
And we were walking in and we saw. I remember because the little general, Todd Marchant and David Oliver were standing there talking to Matthew Perry.
Nice.
Yeah. So he was there. Tiny guy.
Matthew Perry.
From Friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's tiny guy?
Tiny. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was short. I remember
like Todd Marchand short?
Yeah. Like
Huh.
Todd, he was looking eye to eye with Todd.
You don't get that vibe when you see him on TV.
No. And who was coming out late? I forget. Someone was like, you would have thought they were going out for a real game, but he could kind of skate. It might have been, was it Alan Thicke? I don't know. It was
Alan Thicke is always in the celebrity.
Well, he was. Yeah, but he's Canadian. Like he could skate around, but he was taking it. It looked like he was taking it a little too serious.
From growing pains.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good time. Zach just stepped out after having some issues with the phone line, hoping to get Alex Daugherty on here right away to talk some Preds. I am intrigued what the status of Juicy Saros is or what happened there. But it's going to be interesting. Lavoie waivers again, Gager. I mean, this poor kid. Well, I think he's been here the whole time. I don't think he actually went to Vegas.
I know, yeah.
No,
I think he was probably told, look, something's in the works here. We'll let you know. But
yeah,
tough 5 days for the young man to be tossed around. You know, it makes me think of I don't know if you ever read Ken Dryden's book for The Game.
Yeah.
Talking about just not wanting to be traded and treated like a piece of meat and just said no.
But for AHL, NHL tweener, that's kind of
part of the life, man.
Part of the life.
Yeah,
right?
everyone sees the glamorous sides of the NHL, where those top 3 guys on each team, where you really don't have to worry about. Well, maybe there is the possibilities of a trade, but that's usually it's not even possible because of their salaries and the what would have to come back. So they know where they're going to be. But for those lower end guys that, especially those yo-yos that are up and down, it's day to day.
Do you think it ever comes like for a guy like Raphael Lavoie that where he's just like, just send me to Baco, I just want to play? Like
I've played with guys that have done that, and like are not done that, but felt that way. I mean, I remember when I went to my first 99, I played on Team Canada, and it was a breath of fresh air, kind of, and we were all kind of on pins and needles is kind of like a wasteland for tweeners.
Yeah.
The Team Canada. And when we finally realized, look, we're not getting sent down. We're not getting called up. We're here for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And we actually, our captain who had played for the team a couple years prior said, look, you guys, because we were still acting like American Hockey League guys, that it's like the meat grinder. Why is he playing more?
Yeah.
And it's just like cutthroat. It's like watching Housewives sometimes, the American Hockey League. But then when we realized, look, we're here and everyone likes a winner.
Yeah.
If you can perform and do something that have some accomplishments throughout the year. I mean, we were playing in all the big tournaments, and a lot of guys went on and signed NHL deals after that.
I just look at it where it's like, okay, I'm not going to be with the big club. I want to stay in this organization because the opportunity is going to present itself a year or two down the road. So just let me play in Baco and stop calling me up and not playing me and blah, blah, blah.
There's a familiarity with an organization. I'm sure. I mean, even though after one game, it seemed like the two guys that went to St. Louis had some success, but I'm sure it was a little bit of probably more difficult for Holloway, I would say.
Yeah.
Just because language, like, Broberg's come over from a different country, and it changed for him is not a big deal, but this is all that Holloway's known, really, right?
Yeah, yeah. Still working on Alex Daugherty here, Preds beat reporter here. Hopefully we can get him on here before the end of the segment. I really want to talk Nashville Predators then.
I know. I mean, there was a lot of buzz this year. I remember, like, it was, I think on two guys we were talking about, because Stamkos went in there to see the facility, walked in, and his kids had the Stammer little Predator jerseys all of a sudden, and they're all, I don't know, like, there's a jersey when you see him in it, and you know how you look at a guy and some uniforms when they get traded, they just don't look natural. He looks, and I don't know if it's the blonde hair or something, but he looks like a Nashville Predator.
He looks good.
He looks really good in it.
He's got a little bit of a tan, fits in with that mustard yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks really, really good. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay. We're going to bring in Alex Daugherty in the final segment here as they're working through some technical issues. Gager, I'll get to this day in sports history.
Let's do it.
1979, Mark Messier made his NHL debut with the Edmonton Oilers.
Wow.
And what a career the Moose would have, eh?
Unreal. When we saw him in Utah, how old is he? He's in his 60s? He's got to be in his 60s.
Probably,
he looks like he could still play.
Yes, he can.
It's phenomenal. And just all the stories. I mean, if you ever can corner Jason Strudwick and have him tell you some Moose stories of their time in Vancouver, they're fantastic. And just the leadership. And I know it didn't really work out well for him in Vancouver and stuff. It didn't go the way they wanted. But, I mean, him guaranteeing the win back in
what a boss.
92. Like, and the thing was, Patrick Ewing did it that year too, and they lost. It's just there's only one Mark Messier, and I think the biggest thing is when you saw him win, like he still looked like a little kid. Like all he wanted to do was win hockey games. Yeah. He was a beast, but he just wanted to win hockey games.
I think it's Boys on the Bus when he's in New York and he takes a penalty and he goes, I'm getting a penalty because the guy's face hit my stick. Come on, man. 1987, Doug Jarvis ended his streak of 984 straight games in the NHL, a streak that started in 1975. How crazy is that?
That is nice.
The Edmonton Oilers acquired Norm MacGyver from the Hartford Whalers. Yeah, good old Norm.
Normie.
He's a good
small,
player.
Little D-man, skilled.
Yeah, and this one says the Edmonton Oilers make their NHL debut but lose 4-2 to Chicago with Kevin Lowe scoring the first NHL goal in franchise history, assisted by Wayne Gretzky in his first NHL game.
Yeah, I'd go on to put a few more up on the board too after that.
And a big happy birthday to the best 44 that's ever played in Edmonton.
Chris Pronger?
Chris Pronger,
really?
50 years old.
Wow.
Could the Oilers use a Chris Pronger right now?
He could still play too. Yeah.
Was there, like, we only had him for a year here, but man, watching that guy And by all accounts, I heard he was really hard to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
hard ass,
like media wise, like even if you were part of the team, like. But man, could that guy play?
Yeah, he. The best was talking to Craig McTavish about him and saying, "What was it like having Pronger in the play?" Like we're talking about the run in 06 and just like having Pronger. He goes, "Look, it was a ridiculous joke to have someone that you could throw out there and you just knew the other team wasn't going to score." Like, how good is he like that?
And you're not a goalie.
No,
right?
You're just a defenseman. That and I mean, he has the cojones to go penalty shot. We need a goal. Who are we putting out with all that talent? And you put Chris Pronger, and he just goes and buries it. Like
he was so damn good.
I wish I had an ounce of his confidence.
Imagine playing against that pairing of Gator and Chris Pronger.
And if you listen to Mac T talk about it, he felt that Gator was kind of struggling a little bit, and putting Pronger with him really solidified it where he could just Gator was mean. We called it the Cobra Kai. Like go back and watch. He would grab guys by the throat and do that one arm a one arm slam, but he was grabbing the guy like by his larynx.
Well, Gator was never the best with the puck on his stick.
No,
he was just a physical, hard to play against defenseman, and where Chris Pronger did it all.
And he was like, I remember playing against Gator. It was in junior. He was in Calgary or Regina, the Regina Pats. He was a kind of an offensive guy too. I mean, mostly defensive, but first rounder to the Devils, I believe. And just a great leader, great teammate, funny guy.
Yeah, and then it's Bocek and Stales. Like that's a good foursome, man.
But they had lightning in a bottle too. Everyone was playing like above what they normally were, and that's what you need.
Once they beat Detroit, you knew something special was happening.
Yeah, it was
100%
amazing run.
Before we get to break, I'm going to ask you this from Scalding Gourd. If you know your chance of playing with the NHL club is really slim, would you rather play a year or two in Europe for the adventure and steady ice, or stay in the AHL, Gager? Because you kind of went this route, right?
Yeah, but I think it would be a little bit different now because I think you see the guys come back a little bit more even if they go to Europe. My day, that was it. You were kind of You were kind of resigning to go. I don't think there was as many eyes on you.
You weren't coming back.
No. But now with the amount of scouts over there that are constantly looking, I think the opportunities to come back are a lot more as those leagues are there's a lot more eyes on them. But you're talking about the experience. Yeah, I mean it's a fantastic experience. But it's so hard for, I would say, North Americans for the most part. It's hard to say, oh, you know what, I'm just going to go over there and have an experience. If the opportunity to stay in the NHL, you're always going to take it. Like my last year in 2001 playing with the Oilers, I had a contract to go play in Mannheim or Nuremberg. Or was it Mannheim? I don't know. It was either Mannheim or Nuremberg. I forget. But Edmonton Oilers came calling and said, hey, we want to sign you for next year. How do you say no to playing in the NHL? Even though and looking back, maybe I probably should have gone to Europe at that point, but you just can't say no.
Yeah. No, that's a good question. And it's good because, like you said, the times have changed where back then it was like when you went to Europe, that was your career in Europe. But now some guys might use it as a stepping stone.
To come back.
Yeah. Right, yeah. That's it's a good question, Scalding Gourd. But we're going to get to break here. It's 2:40. EST Afternoons, Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, and Zachticum here. Hopefully, coming up next, we'll get to Alex Daugherty, Preds beat reporter for the Tennessean. It's been a fun show so far. Keep those texts coming in to 780-218-9999 or on the Nasty Chat. Last segment of EST Afternoons is coming up, but first, here's Zachticum with a sports update.
The Oilers place Raphael Lavoie on waivers for the purpose of reassignment to the Bakersfield Condors. This is the third time in 3 days Lavoie finds himself on the wire. Kaapo Kähkönen of the Jets also gets placed to the waivers, while with Eric Comrie taking his spot as a backup to Connor Hellebuck. Blue Jackets captain Boone Jenner underwent surgery yesterday and will miss 5 to 6 months. Jenner injured his shoulder last week in practice, and his earliest expected return isn't until March 1st. There are 9 games on tap, with the Maple Leafs seeing the Devils, Canadiens, and the Bruins, the Stars battling the Preds, before the Penguins meet the Red Wings. Through 2 practices this week, James Cook of the Bills, Malik Neighbors from the Giants, Jonathan Taylor, and Josh Downs of the Colts have not been spotted on the field. In Thursday Night Football, it's the Seahawks and 49ers with Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Bar Lounge for 6:15 kickoff. MLB playoffs see the Tigers having a chance to knock off the Guardians before the Royals try and stay alive against the Yankees. EST continues. EST Afternoons returns right after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 1,000 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
.44, last segment here on EST Afternoons, Edmonton's Sports Talk, static free since 23. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zachticum, and Zach's working on getting Alex Daugherty here so we can chat with him here for the last, for a good 6 to 8 minutes before Reed Wilkins and Jay Milne take over from 3 to 6. They'll have Trey Ford on the
show. Scalding Gourd, that's funny. Raphael Lavoie, more like Raphael LaWaver. That's more for the morning show, but well done. You should have saved that.
Text of the day. That's too funny, but yeah, poor. I don't want to say poor guy, but like, it is what it is. I mean, everybody lost their minds when they thought he was going to Vegas. Vegas picked up 2 guys, decided to keep the other guy, and now he's back with the Oilers. He's going to go down to Baco if he doesn't get claimed again. Because yesterday there was 2 teams.
At it because it's a team ahead.
Yeah,
and we were. Who did we come up with?
Colorado. Maybe?
Colorado. Yeah, because when you look at their lineup, they're probably the one team that could use a little bit extra.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know, but again, like it's not a guy that's going to jump into any of those teams' top 6. He's going to be the 13th guy. He might play a limited role. Like again, we got to pump the brakes on Raphael Lavoie that he's this NHL guy.
Yeah, no. God, I was hoping to get Alex on because you know what the other interesting thing about the Nashville Predators is that they have almost $5 million in cap space too.
Yeah. So Alex just texted me saying they have opened the doors, so he has to run inside. He'll join us next time. We had some issues with the phone line, so Our first show, guestless.
I think it went all right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, we didn't miss a beat.
No. Well, we had a lot to unpack after last night's game. I mean,
how crazy do you? Let's just look ahead. They lose Saturday. Like, is it?
They're not losing to the Chicago.
Is it
Blackhawks.
code red?
No.
What if they go 1-1? Are you still disappointed?
No, I don't care. I'm looking at the 10-game mark. Where are they after 10 games?
Okay.
That's what I want to see.
But they,
you still don't know what you have, really, because you can't tell me that that's their best, right?
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
Like let's see them at their best. Like Amberson, Nurse. I mean, to a man, you can't put last night's game on it. You put it on the whole team.
Oh, they were a no-show.
Yeah, like I want to see the Edmonton Oilers. They should. A veteran team. There's always a saying in the locker room: you don't lose 2 in a row. And I know. Well, if you really look at it, they've lost 2 in a row here. So you win the next game, and you take care of your business at home. Edmonton Oilers have been a fantastic home team. Very tough building to play in. Got to get things rolling. Start feeling good about yourself. I like. I think it was Connor McDavid. Someone asked him a question about last year, and he was like, I'm tired of hearing about last year.
Yeah.
Last year's over.
Yeah,
And-
enough with last year.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I am kind of exhausted about talking about last year too. Probably got a little bit of a bump with the show on Prime. You know, everyone reliving it a bit, so naturally you're going to talk about it a little bit more. But I think from when you have your leadership group saying we got to move on, I would fully expect a much better game Saturday night. But saying that,
be better.
You're gonna get a Blackhawks team playing at their best too.
And Blackhawks are in Winnipeg tomorrow, so potentially they can be coming in 0-2 and on back-to-back nights. There's no excuse. There is absolutely no excuses. Like Lieutenant Eric said, it was preseason game number 9 yesterday.
It was.
Because that's how they played.
That's how they played. It was not engaging enough early. Like when you watch that Florida game, and so they initiated everything.
Yeah.
Like they were like on it. Physicality. Everything was crisp. It didn't. If any team was going to have a hangover, it was them. I know no one went to their parade, but it looked like they had some fun.
Like, oh man, it's just. I think it's frustrating because you think the Oilers are past these moments because they have them far too often.
Yeah.
Right. And then you come and you lay an egg like they did yesterday, and like you said, like they didn't. It's like they were waiting for Winnipeg to score a goal and then say, "Okay, what do we have?" And listen, this is a team that went to the finals. They've been through a lot. How many more lessons do they need to learn? Because in the last 5-6 years, Gager, there's been a lot. Well, I'd love to be just on that wall in the dressing room and just listening. I just want to know what was said after that game, if anything at all, or was it just like Connor McDavid looking at the boys saying, "Come on, boys, not this again." Like, it's time to.
I don't think there was even that so much.
Well, that's what I mean.
I know, and you're talking about lessons learned. Unfortunately, I think from season to season, there are certain lessons that you have to keep relearning, especially with turnover on such a position of strength. I thought for an extended period of time was their defensive play, was their penalty kill. I felt that their penalty kill last year was a source of strength with the Edmonton Oilers. So, but again, yeah, Jets made Swiss cheese of that last night. They were good on obviously really good on their penalty kill. Oilers have to figure some stuff out.
But I'll look at it from the Jets' point of view too. Like, if you're a fan or you're covering the team, you're like, hell of a game, but we've seen this before. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, if the Oilers won last night 6-0, I think we're still I think Oilers fans are probably like, yeah, but it's only one game. I don't think there's, which is good. I think there's, from a fan's viewpoint, the way you see your team is, look, you're taking the same approach as a lot of the players. It's one game. We got to build from here. We know how long this season is. I mean, I got to hand it to him. That's very difficult to come back from. But like you said, we saw the Florida Panthers, the way they played. They play again tonight. And let's
who are they playing? I just said it too, so give me a second.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought Florida might start off a little bit slow because of the hangover, but what I saw in that first game against a hell of a team.
They are playing Ottawa.
Oh,
so
boy.
that's
yeah.
Well, see what Allmark can do, right? And you got the Kachuk brothers going up against one another. So it's kind of must-see TV.
Yeah, because Ottawa's also looking to take that step.
Yeah.
They got their goalie.
And you're going to get Ottawa's best game, I think, in that scenario because Florida's the measuring stick. They're the Stanley Cup champions.
Joel says if they lose 17, I think we should worry. Well, yeah, but I mean, I think 1-1 this weekend. I mean, I'll take it, but I won't be impressed, especially depending on how they win. If they win one of those games, Gager, I think they should beat Chicago. I think everybody would bet the Oilers to beat Chicago, but we've seen this way too many times, Gager. Way too many times where the Oilers don't show up for the lesser teams. That's what concerns me.
Yeah, you got to be the bully, right? The big bully on the block and go, okay, you know what? Little Bedardsies here. Let's
run him every time, clean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But make it difficult. Make it extremely difficult on everyone. And there's a good mix of veteran leadership on that team. I think there's a really good mix, and that's a good line with Bedard. I believe, is it Hull and Teravainen?
No, so in the first game, for some reason, he was with Teravainen and Mikheyev. But Mikheyev's so inconsistent. Like it's probably they didn't even want to put Bertuzzi there, which I think is a better fit.
God, Bertuzzi's just like a mercenary. Hey, he just goes to wherever and plays.
Because he's been where in Boston, Toronto, obviously Detroit. Yeah, it's fourth team. And his best years were in Detroit. In Toronto, he didn't do anything. Boston, he didn't really do anything. But he was brought in at the trade deadline, right?
Right, yeah.
Let's see here. Obviously, no lineup changes coming to the forward group. The Oilers did not practice today. They had a day off. Though I think it's those mandatory... that's what I think it is.
That's hilarious.
So they'll return to the ice tomorrow. We'll see what I'm anticipating the forward lines are going to say. If I see Draisaitl with McDavid, I'm going to lose my freaking mind.
But you know what? I'll say this. There are certain teams that I think loading those guys up makes sense.
Sure.
Because the other team just can't. They're too thin on the back end where they're going to command their top D and the rest of everyone can feast. That's what you would want.
But Gager, this is where I'm at. Like, because Skinner and Arvidsson are they're good top six players. Let them build with Leon. Like, you shouldn't be panicking and throwing. And I get what you're saying, where some matchups are better because they can't control that top line. And maybe Nuge with Arvidsson and Skinner, there's something there. But long term, that's not what you want. I think it's far too soon to go to the nuclear option. I think it's too soon.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But let's see.
I'm also intrigued.
Martinez and Jones. That's
good.
But that's who you're going to play against. Yeah. McDavid and Draisaitl. Then you go back, Vlasic, Brody, Allen, and Murphy. I mean, whoever's playing. So what? That would probably be Nuge between Arvidsson and Skinner. That should feast. But
you don't think Draisaitl can feast with those two guys against that pairing? And McDavid should be able to feast? It's tough.
Yeah. But you want your big, this is the third game in a row with no points for the big two, right?
Yeah.
Going back to last season.
I'm also intrigued to see if Emerson remains with Nurse. I think they are. I think he just mixed things up to get a spark or whatever he was trying to do. But we'll see tomorrow once I think Tommy or Reed, one of them will be down there and we'll get some updates for sure. But tomorrow we'll probably go to Calgary, talk some Flames.
I'd love to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
They're the opponent on Sunday. That should be a fun game. It's always good. And Calgary coming off an enormous comeback win. So, they're feeling good 100%. So the Oilers are going to have to be ready. And they don't play again until Sunday, the Flames. So they're going to be feeling good about themselves. And they're always up to play the Edmonton Oilers. It's just like every other team.
Yeah.
So, Alex Daugherty, unfortunately, we couldn't connect with him. We had some issues with the phone line. But we had the Red Light District. A lot of Oilers. A new segment was born, highlights and lowlights, as we broke down 2 of the goals. It was a great segment. Go back, and it was in the second segment, so around 1:20. Check it out. It was really good breakdown by Joaquin Gage, and we'll do that, I think, for every game now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
More work for Gager.
No, I mean, like Tuesday, we're not gonna bring up stuff from Saturday and Sunday unless it's enormous.
Recent game? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I won't be doing that, so it's all good. Coming up next, it's the Reed Wilkins Show, 3 to 6 with Jay Milne. They'll be joined by Trey Ford. I think they also got Joey Ginla from the Oil Kings, so they got cool. and your guy Ian Herbers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they're gonna have a great show. We'll return tomorrow. We'll continue to talk Oilers. We'll get updates from practice, and we're going to try our best to go to Calgary and talk some Flames. For Zachticum, Joaquin Gage, I'm Hernan Salas. Thank you for tuning in to EST Afternoons. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll chat tomorrow. Ciao.